Hi Sumit,
Hello, hi Rudya. How are you?
what's up? What's up? Long time.
Long time, long time. But I guess it'll be worth it. I think आज का podcast बहुत ही ज्यादा अच्छा होने वाला है. We have some awesome things to discuss. And unlike our first two episodes, today we are not going to delve into too much into stock research. Rather, we want to talk about कि broader market trends क्या हैं. Obviously, in US at least, we are in a very clear bull run. क्या ऐसी चीजें हैं जो bull run end कर सकती हैं या फिर the bull run will continue and stuff like that. You want to talk about some amazing news that has happened over the past week and some other macro trends that might make or break the market. Cool, then I guess we can get started. Let me just bring up the docket. So the first thing that we want to discuss is, okay, yes, broadly, is the AI boom over? So I have मैंने थोड़ा सा सोचा है इसके बारे में. What I think is there are some logic that people use जो that can make you believe that the AI boom is going to be over very soon, right? The fundamental theory, the base theory is कि सबसे ज्यादा पैसा अभी लोग किन स्टॉक से बना रहे हैं? डेटा सेंटर प्लेस, राइट? In stocks like Nvidia, in stocks like Broadcom, etc. So the theory here, the bearish theory here is that एक ऐसा time आएगा जब this build out will be over, right? Like you don't need infinite number of data centers, right? एक पॉइंट आएगा जहां पे आप you would have built enough data centers of like because the population is limited, you have some sort of a thought process कि ठीक है इतने लोग ही यूज करेंगे these AI models, and एक पॉइंट आएगा जब ये it will have a top, and the day when Nvidia will have one negative earning is when the entire market will crash. Okay, that's
Yeah.
one big theory that bears have. Second theory is that the world itself is very unstable right now, which we are going to discuss anyways in the later half of this podcast. But ये एक दूसरी theory है कि right कि there might be a black swan event which could end this bull run. I don't have much insight on the second part, but I have some insights on the first part. So first of all, I want to say that ये जो theory है कि build out कभी खत्म होगा, I think it's a very surface level thought, right? So I was recently listening to one of the interviews that Jensen was giving, who's the CEO of Nvidia,
Nvidia.
and उनसे exactly ये question पूछा गया, right? And he had a very
Yeah.
clear answer. He said that every chip that he makes, every new
Yeah.
chip that Nvidia makes,
Yeah.
is basically a device that will help all of these cloud providers to make more money. What does that
Sure.
really mean is, अभी जैसे मान लीजिए कि उनका एक चिप है X, right? उस X से, क्योंकि what is the constraint here? The constraint is money and the constraint is electricity, right? US cannot just rapidly increase its electricity production overnight, right?
True. True.
So assuming these two are some constraints, money maybe not, maybe some people can argue, but definitely constraints, right? The next chip that Nvidia launches allows you to operate more efficiently. So assuming that you are not going to build out more data centers, even if the data centers place stops, you would still want to actually buy the Nvidia chip because it is more efficient. For the same electricity, it will allow you to churn out more tokens, and more tokens is more money. It's
That's true.
basically as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's a very fundamental concept of why it can run further away than what most people are thinking.
Yeah. So I was thinking like this growth rate, right? The growth rate with which companies like Nvidia are growing. So that will eventually slow down, but there's still like a long time to go for that because I believe we are still in
For sure.
quite nascent stages for the way AI is getting adopted. There is like quite a long room for it to grow. धीरे धीरे ना वो एनवीडिया से अभी शिफ्ट हो रहा है फोकस टुवर्ड्स लाइक डेटा सेंटर कंपनीज एनर्जी
Right.
प्रोवाइडर्स क्लाउड सर्विस
Right.
प्रोवाइडर्स वगैरह तो या आई फील देयर इज लाइक अ स्टिल अ लॉन्ग वे टू गो बिफोर वी सी द टॉप फॉर दिस एआई बबल
Right. I totally agree कि ये definitely the growth rate of these companies obviously will not be 60%, 70% year on year. Obviously, that will taper off. But as you said, these companies still have a longer runway. The second point, which I think कुछ लोगों का investing thesis change कर सकती है, is that plays like Broadcom. So what Broadcom essentially does is that, let's say some of the top cloud providers, right, like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, right? What these companies have figured out, OpenAI also now have figured out that they want to just hedge their risk against Nvidia, right? Not that they will stop buying Nvidia chips. Hedging means obviously these companies are operating at such a big scale that they don't want that kal ko koi bhi event ho, and if they can't get Nvidia chips, now they are out of options, right? So what they've started figuring out is that they want to start making their own chips, right? Which in the industry people called ASICs. And to do that, Broadcom is the best partner that they have, right? So recently what has happened is, so Google, as you might already know, Google actually Nvidia pe relatively come reliant hai than other cloud providers because they make their own TPUs, right? It's the same TPUs that they use in their own phones as well. So Google, like Apple, had invested in making their own chips, I think some few years ago, and they are primarily doing it with Broadcom.
Okay.
The second thing is that OpenAI has recently signed a contract of $10 billion with Broadcom, in making their own chips and stuff. So basically they're hedging, in a world where $600 billion and trillions are being spent, maybe
Yeah.
10 billion doesn't seem like a huge amount. But the point here is कि लोग hedge भी कर रहे हैं. That's another play basically. कि आप एक Nvidia का play तो आप ले ही रहे हो, data center play तो ले ही रहे हो.
Yeah.
But there are these other side plays also that are going on in the market where companies are hedging against some of the major risks.
Even Alibaba recently announced, right, that they've come out with a new chip. It is obviously not as good as Nvidia's yet, but
Right.
yeah, they have something to show the world that okay, they can also
Correct.
develop chips.
Yeah. And one thing people miss is that like all chips don't have to be as good as Nvidia latest chip, right? Like AMD's chips are probably not as good as Nvidia right now, but they are also, shipping their chips in billions of dollars. And Nvidia अभी भी अपने 2 वर्जन या 3 वर्जन पहले वाले चिप्स भी अभी शिप कर रही है अभी तक. Like the H100s and A100s or A10s, I'm not sure, but वो भी अभी तक शिप कर रहे हैं. So those chips, just because there is a latest version out there doesn't mean that these chips are bad. There are a lot of players outside of US who still can't afford the latest chip and they are okay with this chip,
Yeah.
right, for a lot of other use cases. So I think as we discussed ki, the play is gonna go. The coming to the second thing that I said ki, the only thing that a lot of people are not able to see, I feel, and my fear is that some sort of a black swan event. But obviously based on that, आप अपना इन्वेस्टिंग थीसिस बेस नहीं कर सकते, राइट? लाइक दैट कैन हैपन एनी टाइम, लाइक कोविड कैन हैपन एनी टाइम. You can't really plan for that. But that's a fear, right? Like if something like that happens, and primarily people are saying it can happen in the sense of wars between countries, right? Like which we'll discuss later in the podcast also.
I think I'll expand right after this. Yeah.
So yeah, and basically, I mean, coming to the fact, like one major risk is that majority of the chips of the like Nvidia ke chips or बहुत सारे Apple के chips and Google के chips are also being manufactured by TSMC, right? And TSMC का main factory is in Taiwan. And for some reason, अगर China invades Taiwan, then guaranteed S&P is going to fall more than 10% that day.
For sure.
Maybe more, maybe I'm underplaying it, but yeah.
And there's like a much more real risk right now. So as you might have heard, right, Israel bombed Qatar.
Yes.
They were targeting some Hamas top leadership. So they had a small window of opportunity. That's what Israel's prime minister claims. And they couldn't inform US that they're going to do this. So they just
Right.
bombed Qatar. And apparently Trump had a very vocal call with Netanyahu. And it was not at all good. There was a lot of shouting and stuff. So what has happened is in the last 3 to 4 days, Israel has attacked 5 countries apart from Qatar, which is insane when you think about it. One small country, apart from Qatar, they've attacked Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, and Tunisia.
Right.
The long-term implications for this could be huge, right? Especially because this attack on Qatar was a huge red flag for Trump because Trump, like US were kind of trying to use Qatar's help to, mediate this war and get it to stop, but then this will dampen the whole situation. And Qatar is basically asking all the Middle Eastern countries for a quick conference as a response to this attack. So I'm not sure what will come out of it, but this is, I feel, the biggest immediate risk that could destabilize the markets.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, basically risks like these, right? Like if, let's say, some sort of a mini world war happens, then obviously nobody is going to care about the markets. So these are some risks that I think people should be aware of. So I think हम लोग बस discuss करना चाहते थे कि what are some probabilities, and basically investment is all about how likely do you think something will happen, right? That's all we are all betting on. So that's the primary thing. I personally, I want to ride this AI wave a little more. I feel it still has legs. So let's see. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah, and if
And
not, then we'll also discuss like a couple of more trends which we could try and ride, which are hot right now in the next segment.
yeah. And why I'm also bullish, coming to the second part, is that if you see in the US primarily, the Fed has already hinted towards the fact that they are going to cut an interest rate in September. There's going to be another cut in November and then one in December. So this year, they are going to do 3 interest rate cuts.
2 to
right?
3, I think.
And
possibly 2.
2 to 3, yeah, I'm slightly bullish. I want to say 3, but let's see. I'm actually thinking that so earlier the probability that in September they will cut 0.25%, but now that probability is slightly shifting towards 0.5% because the recent report in US about job losses has been that there are a huge number of job losses. और एक तो US का I don't know who's in charge of getting this data. They report on the data कि let's say for example हमारा अच्छा इतने लोगों ने जॉब के लिए अप्लाई किया तो बहुत बढ़िया all decisions have been taken based on that. Now in the next month they come back and report अच्छा चल नहीं wait, that was not X, that was 0.3x. It's like bro,
Insane.
you can trim it down by 10%. चलो ठीक है, I can understand. How can you cut a number by 70-60%?
There's some huge discrepancies there.
Exactly,
their
and they
calculations.
have recently done that, and hence people are saying that now Jerome Powell, their Fed governor, has more reasons to do a higher cut than a 0.25%. So that's another reason why I'm still bullish, right? Because there are a lot of stocks that can still gain advantage from a lower interest rate environment, and generally when interest rate is lower, people are more risk on.
Yeah.
So that was the second point.
The only thing I'm worried about is that if the inflation starts going up again, then again the Fed will try to limit these
That is true.
rate cuts. Plus the uncertainty that Trump brings in, right?
Yeah.
Trade wars, like especially with China, right? And then
Right.
recently Democrats, a lot of them have started accusing Trump of manipulating the markets. We have seen him doing that like on Truth Social. There's like a couple of times I think he asked people to be bullish, and he asked people to directly buy the dip, which I don't think it's like a good sign in the long term. He's president of the strongest country in the world right now. He can't be doing things like this.
You shouldn't say that, obviously. But for Trump, I mean, he shouldn't do a lot of things that he has done. But I feel that guy is a lot more sensitive to market than he might want to show.
That's true.
April में जब उसने tariffs announce किए थे, right? I was buying very heavily in April because I knew कि he's so sensitive to the market that either he'll pull back these random numbers. April में अगर आपको याद होगा Liberation Day पे he was like China पे 250% tariff, इस पे 100% tariff, इस पे 150% tariff. I knew first of all it doesn't make any sense. This is just a some random Trump negotiation play. Right. And second was कि he's so sensitive to the market that उसको दिखेगा कि यार ये गिर गया है, and he'll have to take a U-turn, and which he's done a lot of times. So he'll definitely do that. So going forward also, I feel if there is a Trump-induced market fall, I would want to buy more. Because if he can take a decision and reverse it, I would take that bet 10 out of 10 times.
That's true. And I think for reasons like this, we should always keep like a 20%, at least 20% cash proponent in our whole portfolio to be able to buy these dips.
That is true.
If you're fully invested, then
that
you
is
won't
such
be
a
able
good
to,
advice. That is such a good advice. That is a very underappreciated thing. People don't realize is कि जब market bull run में होता है, you always want to buy, but having a small cash reserve I mean, honestly, the best returns happen जब आप dip में खरीदते हो, right? That is when that when that weak shape recovery होती है, तब आपको actual gains मिलते हैं. That is when if you buy it at the top, probably you'll have to hold it for longer and you might or might not make money. But buying at the dips makes a lot of sense. I totally agree. So that's the Trump factor that people need to be careful about. Coming back, yes, oh wait, yeah, I think we already discussed about Israel, America stuff. I think we can move to the second important section of our podcast where we want to discuss कि पिछले एक दो हफ्ते में what are some of the major news that has happened in the financial market.
I think one of the biggest ones would be the Google Chrome thing, right? Google kind of won its
Yes.
antitrust case in the US, so they don't need to sell Android or Chrome anymore.
Yes, that was such a good ruling. I was like, the judge was Indian on this. I was like, bro, it's like was such a good ruling on this. So just for listeners, people who don't know, so basically case क्या था? Case ये था कि Google is doing some monopolistic activities by making Google search a default, or rather paying Apple and Mozilla to make Google search default on their browsers. For people who don't know, Google search is a default on Safari. And for this, Google pays $25 billion to Apple every year, right? And some $500 million to Mozilla. Now, this was the case, right? This was the antitrust case कि आप ये सब नहीं कर सकते हो. Come on, like, how will a new entrant even compete with that because you've already paid the other guy, right?
That's true.
And just also to clarify, यूरोप में क्या है? यूरोप में आप अगर सफारी पहली बार चलाते हो, राइट, तो आपको एक ड्रॉप डाउन आता है जहां पे आपको सेलेक्ट करना होता है कि व्हाट डू यू वांट योर सर्च टू बी. डू यू वांट इट टू बी गूगल, डू यू वांट इट टू बी बिंग, और डू यू वांट टू बी, आई गेस, वो डक और जो भी सर्च होगा. So you have to select. So Europe has gone ahead and actually acted against it, but obviously most people select Google.
Yeah.
In the hindsight, actually, I think कि अगर ये search वाला decision अगर Google के against भी आता, I
Yeah.
think Google wouldn't have lost too much market share,
Too
because
much,
I think
true.
उन्होंने हैबिट बना दी है. मतलब लोग बिना सोचे गूगल पे क्लिक कर देते हैं.
True.
Right,
Early
but,
movers advantage as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the ruling was that the judge said that Google can keep doing this, right? It's not a problem. But they said that Google should figure out a way to share its search data with competitors as well, which, again, I don't know how that's going to happen. Google said that, that's unlikely because, they are playing the privacy card here. They're like, bro, like customers trust us with their private data. You're asking us to, give that data or sell that data to competitors. Like, that's not going to happen. So I think that's
taking a page from Apple's book.
Yeah, exactly. So privacy is what Google wants to protect. But being a Google investor, I think this was awesome. ये primarily बहुत सारे बड़े hedge funds अभी भी Google में नहीं थे, because they were seeing this ruling or this case as a big overhang on the Google stock, which is now gone, right? So from there, I think from the first podcast when I had mentioned Google, I think since then we are up 30% on Google.
Crazy.
And I still think that it is the most undervalued stock in the top 7 stocks in terms of PE ratio. So just want to say some top pointers again why I'm very bullish on Google is, and some other factors that I've seen over the last 2 weeks is that Google is developing a strategy which is very different from every other AI player, right? So Google is not just betting on on search. Let's say they're not just betting on Google Cloud, they're not just betting on YouTube, but they are using AI to cut across all verticals. Gradually, we will see optimizations and personalization across everything. So I think that is where Google can make such a big impact that nobody else can. अगर आप डेटा सेंटर बनाने की बात कर रहे हो, Google is doing that. अगर आप लार्जेस्ट स्ट्रीमिंग सर्विस की बात कर रहे हो, गूगल इज डूइंग दैट. गूगल इज यूजिंग एआई टू मेक यूट्यूब. लाइक मैं एक दिन फोन रिव्यू देख रहा था एंड आई वाज एक्चुअली सीइंग अ वीडियो ऑफ अ यूक्रेनियन गाय जिसने अपने लैंग्वेज में रिकॉर्ड किया था, बट बिकॉज ऑफ एआई डबिंग आई कुड देन अंडरस्टैंड. द वीडियो वाज एक्चुअली वैल्यूएबल फॉर मी. मतलब उस चीज पे बहुत लोगों ने वीडियो नहीं बनाया था. Right? So now I am seeing his video, जो पहले नहीं हो सकता था. So Google is basically going to use AI to, cut across all verticals and make everything way more monetizable and profitable for themselves. So very bullish on Google from here on.
Then I think you can also talk about that OpenAI contracts with Oracle and Broadcom.
Yeah. So I'll share a small story. So Oracle को मैंने वो कर दिया था, disregard कर दिया था, right? When you think about AI, so like हाँ, और आपने खरीद लिया. So like ठीक है, मतलब यहाँ पे कुछ मोट नहीं है क्लियर, they are doing what everybody else is doing, everybody else will beat them, ये. But what happened for people who don't know, yesterday, नहीं, I think day
Wednesday,
before yesterday, right?
10th September.
Wednesday, 10th September, yes. Everybody opens the market, opens their phone, the market opens, and everybody sees Oracle is up 40%. So Oracle is trading like a penny stock. 40%, and the company, I think, is already worth, I think, $500 or $700 billion, right?
700, I think, yeah. It's crazy, crazy
And
times.
like how, yeah, like 40% in a single day. And then basically why that happened is because OpenAI apparently has committed a $300 billion contract with Oracle for over 4 years. So that is a data center built out revenue that Oracle is going to get. And actually, the hilarious part here is that Oracle ने ये announcement किया अपने earnings के time पे. तो अपने earnings में they actually missed their earnings. They had a slight miss on their EPS and revenue, but that got completely overlooked because when the CEO came and he started talking, he just said that we have a I think 350% ऐसे random number he said, like backlogs, and then people just back calculate like, bro, for it to be 350%, there have to be like hundreds of billions of dollars worth of contract. And then next day the news came out that it is basically OpenAI has signed a contract. Then boom, the stock went up. Coming back to our earlier question also, ki is AI boom over, right? I think definitely not. I think people generally have a imagination problem. Like 7 साल पहले तक जब कोई $1 trillion कंपनी नहीं थी, राइट, पीपल यूज्ड टू से कि यार $1 trillion हो गया एप्पल.
कैसे
जब
पहुंचेगा?
पहली बार like, कैसे पहुंच गया, मतलब ओवर वैल्यूड है, राइट.
वही.
कोई पी रेशियो कोई मतलब नहीं, रेवेन्यू कोई मतलब नहीं, $1 trillion ना ओवर वैल्यूड है, अब इसको लेने का कोई पॉइंट नहीं, राइट. सिंस देन द कंपनी इज नाउ 3.5 trillion, so you would have still made 3.5x your money, right? So I feel it's a big imagination problem. People don't realize that these companies are operating at such a great efficiency कि इनके market caps future में बहुत ज्यादा हों.
True,
I
true.
totally feel that 2030 तक we are going to see a 10 trillion company.
For sure, for sure. I think within the next 2-3 years, probably, the way things are going.
So it is just an imagination problem by the amount that these guys are spending. Like ये जो $300 billion invest हो रहे हैं, इसमें से बहुत सारा पैसा Nvidia को भी जाएगा. There will be other players who will invest on Google Cloud. There will be other players who will invest on AWS and stuff like that. So bullish on all of the AI plays, and I think the train just continues.
And even they had, they've given some contract to Broadcom as well for some custom AI chips. So OpenAI is
They have,
going
yes.
big. And even Nvidia, right? They unveiled some new
Absolutely.
chips. So it's insane what Nvidia are doing. Now they know that they are like the clear monopoly in, creating these chips for AI. Now what they're doing is they unveiled specific chips which would be made for AI video and software creation. And along with
Right.
making the chips, now they're starting to focus on providing end-to-end systems and software stacks for these specific tasks,
Right.
like creating AI powered videos and all these generations. So they are trying to encompass like an end-to-end solution. Whoever wants anything in AI, Nvidia is there for you. You don't need to go outside
is
of
true.
that. So I don't know
That is
where will Nvidia stop at 10 billion, sorry, 10 trillion or 20 trillion by 2030.
And I think the bigger thing that people are still missing is that अगर लोगों को लग रहा है कि यार the AI wave has arrived and some people are also saying कि AI wave has matured. I'm saying absolutely not. I think we have just taken baby steps right now. Because अभी आप देखो AI हम सिर्फ कुछ डिजिटल वर्कफ्लोज में है. अभी फिजिकल वर्ल्ड में तो ठीक से आया ही नहीं है AI. Right? Self-driving cars are still being tested. Robots are still being made. So once that wave comes, when we actually, will have robots in our houses to do a lot of the grunt work, I think वो wave तो अभी आया ही नहीं है. When driverless cars, transportation is such a big thing, and when you're imagining that there'll be so many driverless cars, right? For all those you need chips. For all those you need computation, right? So वो wave तो अभी AI का आया ही नहीं है.
Many years to go,
So I
I
feel
would say.
there's a long way to go.
Imagine Waymo's running on Bangalore roads, probably
Yeah,
by
very
2030
difficult
or something.
for India.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think it'll happen
but
sooner or
let's
later.
see.
So
Yeah, I
this
hope so.
remind
I would love to ride in a way.
yeah, this actually reminds me. unlisted US stocks. There's a way to buy them. So recently discovered this. There's something called pre-stocks. So there's this app called
Oh, right.
Jupiter. It's based on Solana blockchain, and you can buy listed
Right.
and unlisted stocks on this platform using cryptocurrency. Obviously, XAI, SpaceX, OpenAI, Anthropic, most of the people know. Since a long time, I wanted some way to buy into Anduril. So this is like a defense play, and it has
Yeah.
tremendous hype. The only risk
Right.
is that, first of all, this is on the blockchain. They're trying to democratize this, but I feel that it's still very early stages to be doing this on blockchain. There are so many risks. If I'm holding these myself and if my wallet gets hacked, then it'll be like a
Right.
complete loss, 100% loss. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
But ये यहाँ पे मेरा क्वेश्चन है भैया, ये लोग do they track the number or do they track the current valuation of these companies in the private market? Because let's say I'm buying OpenAI, I'm obviously not buying OpenAI ka shares, right? So what am I really buying?
what they're claiming is that the liquidity that they have, they actually have those private stocks with them, and
Okay.
that is what they are kind of releasing onto their platform.
Okay.
So, and yeah, obviously the price is getting tracked to all the private markets, like how it happens even in India.
I think मे बी ये लोग भी ट्रैक कर रहे हैं शायद, क्योंकि
Yeah.
मैंने रॉबिनहुड का देखा था. रॉबिनहुड हैज आल्सो लॉन्च्ड अ वेरी सिमिलर थिंग इन यूरोप. बेसिकली हिज idea was that, let's say for example, obviously the news comes out, right? Like OpenAI, I think just recently closed their funding round of $300 billion at a valuation of $300 billion, sorry. So because this detail is out there, Robinhood has launched a tokenized asset where आप OpenAI को खरीद सकते हो, and this will track. So for example, let's say कल को OpenAI does another funding at $600 billion, right? So the market cap has doubled. So आपका नंबर भी जिस पे आपने लिया होगा आपका डबल होगा. Or more or less of how I understood it. I still have not delved into it completely, but that's how I think these guys are operating right now. But the good thing here is that it opens up retail investors, or opens up an opportunity for retail investors to buy into these amazing companies,
True.
right?
True.
Before they even go public. So
Yeah.
that's a great opportunity. Obviously there is a risk, but if these platforms are legit, and if they're able to pull off what they are saying they'll be able to pull off, then I think it's a no-brainer.
Game changer. True. It's definitely a game changer.
rather.
Yeah. So yeah, I think let's discuss that part which a lot of our viewers might be waiting for. Some recent market trends which you should be watching. So there are two trends which I noticed. I'll just mention them. So one is, you might have noticed Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly being in the news like frequently, like among the top gainers in large cap companies, and they're surging because they have these drugs which were originally meant for diabetes and weight loss. They
Right.
are showing success in trials for treating kidney and heart related issues, and even for sleep apnea. So like something like what happened for Viagra, right? So it is that
Right.
kind of a movement. This drug is called GLP-1, this category of drugs. So drug makers, some of these drug makers are doing well along with some other pharma companies as well.
Right.
And then I would say the second trend I found is cybersecurity, especially with this rising geopolitical tensions, right? I feel like a lot of the future wars would be fought online, not just offline in the physical world. So like
So true.
how I feel like drones have kind of taken over, become like the forefront of wars in like Russia, Ukraine and stuff. Similarly, like cyber warfare is not far behind. I think within the next 10 years, we'll see this being used as like the forefront of any big war that might happen. And companies like Palo Alto Networks and CrowdStrike, they reported record earnings because more and more companies and more countries are realizing that cyber defense becomes like a non-negotiable budget item for all of these governments and companies. So they are like growing massively.
Yeah, true. Both Palo Alto and CrowdStrike are slightly expensive right now. I've invested in CrowdStrike personally. Palo Alto is, by the way, the biggest name, but I feel that, as you said, I think these companies, like broadly, what I see when I'm investing in these companies is that once they have acquired a customer, they have multi-year contracts with them. right? So it is not very easy for you to, let's say, if your cyber security is done by CrowdStrike, it is not very easy to just replace them later, right? That develops a very huge moat, right, at a fundamental level. And obviously, जैसा आपने बोला कि there are other macro events happening in the world which is making their service a no-brainer for companies and countries. So definitely bullish on this sector as well.
I have one, I would say, negative or, something to keep a close eye on. So I'll just show a chart. I have a feeling, that this might be like a sell the news event, what we are expecting next week, the rate cut announcement. Yeah, so there's a big bearish divergence on the daily chart. Like the MACD is going down, but the price is going up. So
Yeah.
this generally, when it
Yeah.
happens, the price generally comes down. So I think like within 1 week, 17th September is when rate cuts happen. The notification comes out. So I see a good chance that it might be a sell the news. So I'll be keeping a very, very close eye on the S&P chart and all the major indices charts. I'll try to be like nimble. If I see something going down fast, I might just try to, exit very fast and
Right.
wait for a rebound to get back in.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would be a fair play as well. You're right. I mean, when actually the event happens, that is, हमने बहुत बार देखा ये. In the anticipation of the event, you can have a better gain, but in the longer run, we can see that sometimes things fall off.
I think we can move on to the next one.
Yes.
It's like for the Indian investors who want to invest in the US markets, let's discuss a few factors that we should keep in mind and some things that you need to be aware of or do some research on. We'll also share like a resource which we found. So yeah, let's start with the fluctuations between INR and USD and
Yeah.
about sending the transfers from India to US bank account and stuff, all that.
Okay, yeah. So moving on to the next segment, just also because this podcast is to educate people in India who want to invest in US stocks. So one of the primary things that you have to be careful about is the constant fluctuations between USD and INR, right? And at least how the trend has been till now is that INR generally depreciates against USD, right? And वो एक दूसरा बड़ा reason है why we keep reinforcing the fact that you should invest in US stocks. Primarily what I have seen though is that through banks also you can invest in US stocks. What I have seen at least is it will not have all the stocks and all the mutual funds that you might see on any IND money invested. Primarily why people are they tend to go towards IND and IND money invested is because it's very easy to do, right? But what I have seen that if you go through banks, you might get better rates, better conversion rates, because you can negotiate with them. There is absolutely no negotiating with IND money or vested. At least I haven't seen anybody do it. If you can, or if anybody has done, then would love to know that. But with banks, you can negotiate on those charges, and it adds up in the long term, right? Because आप बार बार जब पैसे डाल रहे हो, it adds up that transaction charge or that conversion rate that you're paying for. That's point one. Point two, what I have seen is that recently I have found out this amazing ETF. It's called Mirai Asset NYC FANG plus ETF, right? So what it does is, बहुत लोगों को पता होगा कि इंडिया में काफी ऐसे ETFs हैं जो US स्टॉक इन्वेस्टिंग करते हैं, right? We already know that. There is, I think, Nippon India का I think कुछ plan है. SBI has a mutual fund.
Edelweiss.
A lot of Edelweiss का है and all that, right? But primarily what I have seen, what they do is they either invest in NASDAQ or they either invest in S&P 500, right? And that's actually good for most people, to be honest, because it diversifies it. But I personally don't like that because, returns फिर थोड़े से cap हो जाते हैं, right? Like, क्योंकि आपका पैसा 500 कंपनीज के बीच में बांट दिया गया है, right? But what this ETF does, the one that I talked about, Mirai Asset NYC FANG Plus ETF, is that they invest only in 10 US companies, right? And right now, and they change it quarterly, they don't have to change it, but every quarter they kind of rebalance it, right? So let me just tell you what are the stocks that they hold right now. So right now, the stocks that they hold are Nvidia, Broadcom, Microsoft, Meta, Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, ServiceNow, and CrowdStrike.
Almost like your
It
portfolio.
looks like somebody has taken it, duplicated my portfolio. I mean, apart from these names, I have like very
Do you want to tell the last 3 years returns?
yeah, last 3 years returns are 296%.
But again, past returns should never be, thought about as that
That
you'll get the same
absolutely, yeah.
returns in the future. Yeah, disclaimer.
That is 100% true, but I would still take this ETF any day
For
than
sure.
any other ETF that just me. And by the way, right now you can't invest in this ETF. I think we'll have to keep turn on notifications for this one, but maybe they'll open again. But basically, there's an RBI ruling that all ETFs can invest a certain amount of money. So I hope it opens up soon. I'm looking forward to it. If it does, I'll obviously report in the podcast. But right now it isn't. But definitely worth looking out for, because the biggest advantage is that in India, Rohit, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 7 लाख से ज्यादा अगर एक इंडिविजुअल डालता है, then you have to pay a 20% TDS on that amount.
Yeah, actually, recently it got changed to 10 lakhs. But yeah, I can
10 lakhs. Okay.
continue on that aspect. So the scene is like the RBI allows 250,000 US dollars to be sent by an Indian to US for investments, or like anywhere abroad for investments per person per year. That is the maximum limit. But there's a rule that if you are trying to send more than 10 lakhs per year, then any amount over that 10 lakhs, 20% of that will be held as TCS, which would be held as, like, let's say, advanced tax. And what will happen is, while filing your tax returns, you can get that money back, or you can like show it that, okay, that 20% which the government held, that can be used as the tax that I have to pay. So it will get reduced from that. So like taxes get very tricky when it comes to US investments because of reasons like these. And also there is, like, whenever you get a dividend from any US stock, right, what happens is that the US, they will keep 25% of those dividends as tax. And if this sounds confusing, I actually want you to feel a bit confused. I'll tell you why. So that you actually take the help of a CA to get your taxes done, especially when you are investing in US stocks. Like, there are a lot of factors. There's another thing I'll tell you about. There's something called DTAA, which is like a treaty between India and the US. It's called the Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, which makes sure that if you make some profit in US markets, then the tax on that is not cut in the US as well as in India. So like there are a lot of details. So our advice for you, if you are investing in US stocks, if you are investing in US markets, is please like take the help of a CA. We will share a document giving some pointers, but that is slightly old. There might be like a couple of points which might be outdated in there. But yeah, you can refer to that. But even then, we would strongly suggest that please go to a CA for getting your tax work done, especially for US stock investing. This was all about the taxation when you invest into US stocks. तो सुमित, आई थिंक थोड़ा सा ETFs के बारे में डिस्कस करते हैं.
Yes, sure. I'll just give brief context of people who don't know what ETFs are. Primarily, what ETFs do is basically, or at least the better ETFs are, they select a theme, right? And in that theme, they'll select some of the best stocks that you can play in that theme. So let's assume that if I were to create a theme on AI cloud infrastructure, राइट अब मैं उसमें कौन से नाम डालूंगा मैं उसमें गूगल डालूंगा बिकॉज गूगल क्लाउड है उसमें मैं माइक्रोसॉफ्ट डालूंगा क्योंकि माइक्रोसॉफ्ट अज्योर है मैं उसमें AWS डालूंगा ओरेकल अब मैं डालूंगा
For sure.
सो इस तरीके के प्लेस होंगे राइट सिमिलरली देयर आर लॉट ऑफ ETFs सो बेसिकली आप अगर किसी सेक्टर पे बुलिश हैं right? If you feel that robotics is going to be the play of the future, there will most likely be a robotics ETF जिसमें some of the companies जो robotics में कुछ innovation कर रही हैं या कुछ develop कर रही हैं वो उन companies का एक basket होगा right? Rather than picking stock which might win or lose, ETFs can sometime in the longer run become a very good investment because you are investing in the sector, right? You're not saying whether this will win or this will win. You're rather saying that somebody will win for sure, right? And overall the sector is going to grow, so almost all stocks will probably do well. So बहुत अच्छा investment thesis, like from a US stock investing. a lot of these ETFs are available on IndMoney and Vested.
Yeah.
So you Google search for जो भी आपको sector
Yeah.
में invest करना है and then
Yeah.
find that ETF.
Actually, these apps also have a section specifically for ETFs, right?
Yes,
Like
they
you
do.
should definitely check it out because there are very good fund managers like Tom Lee, and I don't know if I should use very good with Kathy Wood, but yeah, like she has very
She was
famous
good once in
ETFs.
a while.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, ARK Invest is her ETF name. But yeah,
Yeah.
Tom Lee has one which he recently launched in the last 1 year, and he's coming up with 2 more new ones. So yeah, we should definitely check those out. And apart from those, right, these are like the usual basket of stocks. There are also some riskier ETFs which interest me a lot because, as if you might remember, I often tend to take riskier bets. तो मेरे को थोड़ा सा लेवरेज, ज़्यादा नहीं, थोड़ा सा लेवरेज, छोटा लेवरेज कभी कभी अच्छा लगता है. तो देर आर दीज लेवरेज्ड ETFs. व्हाट दे डू इज देर आर डिफरेंट टाइप्स. सो एक टाइप होता है कि कोई इंडेक्स है, लेट्स से चाइना इंडेक्स और लेट्स से S&P और नैस्डैक इंडेक्सेस. तो इन इंडेक्स के ऊपर जो डेली उनका ग्रोथ है या फिर डिक्लाइन है उसका 3 times आपको मिलेगा. तो obviously it becomes much more risky, if the market is going sideways or if the market is not doing well. So if the market is not doing well and you know that the market won't do well for the next few months or weeks, so you can even purchase inverse ETFs which bet that the market would fall, and you can make 3x the gains shorting the market even without
Yeah.
having the option to access futures and any kind of derivatives in the US market from India. You can still kind of short the market.
Yeah, these are basically, they make the investing simpler for a lot of people.
Want to
So
play with
just to give you an
leverage.
example, yeah, with a slight leverage. So let me give you an example. So basically, if something happens in the world and you are suddenly bearish on all of the technology stocks, right? So there is a leveraged ETF called SQQQ, right? Where what you're largely saying is that is a 3x inverse ETF or of triple Q, right? Triple Q is an ETF of almost all of the technology names that you can think of, right? And as Rohit said, like when that falls, QQQ falls by 1%, SQQQ will rise by 3%, right? Because it's 3x inverse. So market गिरने पे, अगर if you want to make money, then that's SQQQ. But if you are super bullish and if you're saying कि यार market बढ़ रहा है and I want to be leveraged upwards, then in technology space, this is just an example. So you can put your money in TQQQ, right? So TQQQ is a positive 3x ETF on the technology stocks.
And along with this, there are also some ETFs which let you take leverage on individual stocks, like the big ones at least, Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, right? So you can go maximum up to 2x. There are some ETFs for 2x, for 1.25x, for 1.5x. And a lot of these, because they are riskier, they are not available in IND Money or even in Interactive Brokers or Vested, they are not available. So yeah, you might
Right.
be able to find some of them. So I do some research, and generally I always have like a very small allocation allocated to one of these leverage ETFs. So I try to take advantage of bigger price action.
One thing to just put out there, that these leverage ETFs have to be very short term plays, very short term plays,
True,
right?
true.
You these are not for putting your money and just letting it
Forgetting
be.
about it. Yeah.
Probably you're going to play एक week का कोई play है या 3
Yeah.
days का कोई play है, that's all, right?
Maximum
So
1
never
month.
think about putting your money and just
Forgetting about it. And very small
yeah,
amounts
because long term these ETFs buy with DK.
again.
Yeah, DK is baked into these ETFs because they are leveraged.
You should actually see some of the charts and you will kind of understand, like you'll find some of them like let's say if the if the Nasdaq has given yearly return of let's say 20%, so you'll see that the 1 year return of short 3x ETF, it won't be minus 60%, it will be more in the tune of minus 95% or something of that sort.
Yeah, so don't put your money for longer times. Definitely. Awesome. So I guess that's the end of the podcast, Bhaiya.
Yeah, I
Anything you
think
would want to add?
I think that's about it. Try to keep a closer eye on, all the US related news and upcoming Fed meeting next week
Yes,
and the report from that. And we'll try to cover that in the next podcast. So let's
yes,
record it
absolutely.
soon after it comes out.
Yes, absolutely. I think आने वाले महीने बहुत ज़्यादा important है from a financial perspective. Will decide a lot of. Generally, the year end is supposed to be bullish, but let's see
Santa
how it turns out to be.
Santa
Actually,
Claus rally.
Santa Claus rally. So yeah, awesome, Bia. It was nice having a chat with you as always.
Yeah.
See you in the next episode.
See you soon. Bye.